Alty headlines the 26th of July 2018, Open Day reminder, more the 26th of July 2018, Trafford views, more the 26th of July 2018, Alty's summer signing to play against US, more other headlines the 26th of July 2018, Boston boss unhappy, more the 26th of July 2018, Chester boss pleased with his team, more the 26th of July 2018, GUISELEY claim league scalp, more the 26th of July 2018 Open Day reminder Altrincham FC has issued a reminder that there is to be an Open Day at Altrincham FC on Sunday the 29th of July 2018 from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. The team photo will be taken at 12:30 p.m. and you can win a chance to have your picture taken with the team. Season tickets will be on sale in the Community Sports Hall and, as well, there will be a chance to join the Patrons scheme before the draw is made at 2:30 p.m. for hospitality packages for the Leamington game on August 4th. You can also join the monthly draw or the bonus ball fundraising schemes. The July monthly draw will take place during the afternoon. Tickets for the Southport v Altrincham game on August 14th will also be on sale. Southport are operating cashless turnstiles this season. Finally, the bar will be open on Sunday for refreshments and a chance to socialize with the players. For details of the cashless turnstile system, visit the Southport website. Above, on their last league visit to Hague Avenue, Alty lost 3-0 to Southport in August 2015. Trafford views Altrincham FC's official site has a match report on the game at Trafford, on Tuesday night, a victory that makes it played 6-1-5, lost 1 in a positive pre-season program that culminates with an eagerly anticipated home game against Salford, on Saturday, kick-off 3 p.m. For their part, Trafford report that their centre-back Sam Egerton suffered a suspected broken ankle and faces a lengthy spell on the sidelines as his team fell to a 2-1 defeat at the hands of a slick Altrincham side. The visitors were on top in the early stages. In the 21st minute, disaster struck when Egerton was off balance when challenging John Johnson, fell awkwardly and was taken to hospital for an X-ray. Visitors took the lead when Jordan Hulme chested in from close range after good work by Johnson. Alty were in control once again at the start of the second half, but Trafford manager Tom Baker made a number of substitutions that appeared to breathe greater fire, urgency and pace into his side. And, with virtually his first touch, Chris Palmer curled a glorious shot into the opposite top corner from the right to make it 1-1. Trafford's joy was to be short-lived, however, and after carelessly conceding possession in midfield, Altrincham substitute Sean Williams strode forward and unleashed a low drive from 20 yards that deflected past James Coates. Mark Derbyshire then saw his goal-bound header cleared off the line, but the visitors finished the stronger with Josh Hancock chipping wide, with just Coates to beat, and John Johnson whistling a drive past the upright from 20 yards. Alty's summer signing to play against US. Altrincham opened their new league season with the home match against Leamington on Saturday the 4th of August, and the breaks report that a player who joined Alty this summer will now be playing against the Robins in that match. The explanation comes from Leamington, as their boss, Paul Halloran, has announced that he has been able to add both Checkaine Steele and Anthony Dwyer Wright to his squad as breaks enter the final week of pre-season. Steele has featured in all 4 of Leamington's friendly fixtures so far and has been heavily involved in both creating and scoring goals in the 2 wins and 2 draws. While Dwyer was introduced in the 3-0 win at the Oval, scoring the opening goal, and has also impressed. "We have reached agreement with both Checkaine and Anthony and both have been added to the squad," said the manager. Checkaine was a good player at this level for Worcester City a couple of seasons ago and has good experience, but he has had a few setbacks with injuries. However, he has been with us since the beginning of pre-season and is fully fit and raring to go, which is evident with the impact he has made in our games so far. The 21-year-old signed for AFC Telford United last summer after spending the 2016-17 campaign with Worcester following his release from Port Vale, but left without making an appearance as he was plagued by injury problems, moving on to Hednesford Town before spending the second half of the season at Sutton Coldfield Town. Anthony was a player that we inquired about last season. He became available in the last couple of weeks, so we've been able to take a look at him in the last 2 games and he has done well. Both lads bring something different to the squad and will give us more strength and depth. Anthony also started last season with Telford. He followed a similar path to Steele and moving on to Hansford in March before signing for Altrincham in the close season, but a change in his personal circumstances saw him leave the newly promoted club, and Halloran made his move. The 21-year-old came through the ranks at Mansfield Town and has also played for Stafford Rangers, Matlock Town and Ilkeston. The manager also explained why Liam Canavan has not been seen during pre-season. The reason Liam has not been involved at all during pre-season is that he has been relocated with his job, and is down near Bournemouth at the moment. This is something we will have to work with as we go along, but he will not be involved with us for the foreseeable future. Panorama National League North News. The Chester Standard reports that Anthony Johnson says it was hard to tell who the League Two side was, after seeing his enterprising Chester team hold Morecambe to a 2-2 pre-season draw. Blues twice fell behind to goals from Andrew Fleming and Jason Oswell, but levelled up firstly through Steve Howson's first-half header and later with a Gary Roberts' 87th-minute penalty. There are plenty of positives to take from Chester's past 2 performances against Football League opposition, following last weekend's 1-0 defeat to Bury, with the Blues beginning to display the work rate, hunger and organisation which have become synonymous with joint managers Bernard Morley and Johnson. Towards the end of the game, you wouldn't know who the League Two side was, Johnson said. I'm not talking fitness, I'm talking organisation, what we look like with and without the ball. I'm pleased with the performance, and I was very pleased with the performance on Saturday as well. Competing with 2 League Two sides and looking the part is obviously pleasing, but the main job is keeping our feet on the ground, because there's always that case that the team lower down the pyramid competes that little bit more. The way we played and the way we applied ourselves was well above where we are in the pyramid. We're probably well ahead of where I thought we would be at this stage of pre-season. There's still a few little things, like Steve Howson going to ground for the penalty, but overall pretty pleased. Chester's lack of a cutting edge cost them at times, but overall, they said we're set up to soak up pressure before countering quickly and directly, something Johnson was keen to stress post-match. We don't keep the ball for the sake of it, he explained. We keep the ball to go forward and try to create stuff. When we got it out wide and got crosses into the box, I thought we were the better team by a long stretch for parts of the game. How often do you see it where you miss at one end and they go up the other end and score? Yes, he might have dived, but they got the goal because of Steve's original mistake on halfway. But his performance was 10 out of 10, outstanding. As a back 3, what a performance over the 2 games. Johnson moved to allay fears over the muscle injury sustained by skipper Scott Burton after just 12 minutes, who is likely to miss Saturday's final warm-up match against Everton under-23s. It's in our head a bit, because maybe it was avoidable, Johnson added. Hopefully, it is nothing too serious, not a tear, just a bit of tightness. Hopefully it is not too serious. Sometimes if you think it's not serious, they end up being serious. It's disappointing as we thought we'd start those 2, Burton and Stafford, because Robbo has had a lot of minutes lately, but when he came on he was outstanding. Off the pitch, Chester FC announced that Secretary Tony Allen will be leaving the club to take up a similar position at FC Halifax Town. Tony returned for his 3rd spell as club secretary at the Swansway Chester Stadium back in 2015. He had spells in 2002 until 2010 previously, as well as during the 90s. Across the Pennines, Bradford, Park Avenue, confirmed the signing of 23-year-old midfielder Chris Dawson, subject to FA approval. Dawson joins having represented Bradford as a trialist during pre-season and impressing Mark Bauer with a string of outstanding displays. He began his career with Leeds United and was handed his debut by Neil Warnock in April 2013, being named in the starting 11 for a championship clash with Derby County. During his time with Leeds, he was capped by Wales at under-21 level and likened to the legendary Johnny Giles by White's boss Warnock. Injuries hindered his progress at Elland Road and led to his release in January 2016. He was snapped up by Rotherham United, but found first-team opportunities limited and had to join Norwegian side Viking FK on loan in order to play first-team football. The midfielder left the Millers at the end of the 2016-17 season before spending a prolonged period on the sidelines with an anterior cruciate ligament injury. He then spent the second half of the 2017-18 campaign with Scarborough Athletic as he looked to regain match fitness, still in Yorkshire, The Telegraph. Former Bradford City boss Phil Parkinson named former Bantams and ex-Alty keeper Ben Williams, seen right, went on loan at Alty in 2003-04 season, and Stephen Darby in a lineup which also included experienced players Mark Little, Adam Lefonder, Will Buckley and new signing Pavel Okowski. The Lions, who included 4 of their new signings in the starting lineup, survived an early scare. Midfieldman Alex Perver pressed his claims for a place in Guiseley's starting lineup when the campaign gets underway at Boston on Saturday week, with a fine goal. He dispossessed Olkowski in the 6th minute before advancing and placing a 20-yard shot beyond keeper Williams, who is currently on trial with Bolton. Guiseley looked confident and attacked with purpose whenever the opportunity arose. Fullback Cliff Moyo linked up with the attack well, and Williams had to be alert to cut out a dangerous cross as Kayode Odejavi closed in. The home side's bright play was rewarded again when the pacey Curtis Morrison found the net from a cross by Niall Heaton, who had been on the books at Bradford City when Parkinson was in charge at Valley Parade. It looks as if the new management team of Marcus Bignot and Russ O'Neill have assembled a squad with a desire to attack which will certainly win the approval of the nether more faithful after the soporific fare on offer during last season's National League relegation. Goalkeeper Joe Green proved his worth when he saved a pacey free kick from former Newcastle player Amiobi. The Lions found themselves under pressure again at the start of the second period. Guiseley were having to dig in as they were unable to find the fluency which marked their earlier play. Corners and set pieces were causing problems, but still the Lions managed to keep their goal intact. The home resistance was finally broken in the 67th minute when Hall stabbed home a loose ball from close range. Bradford-born striker Clayton Donaldson, a summer signing from Sheffield United, and experienced defender David Weeder were among a number of experienced personnel introduced by Bolton in the second half. It said much for the character of the new-look Guiseley side that they stood up to the test and made victory safe with a late goal. Guiseley were awarded a penalty which Reece Thompson fired past Williams after Villa appended a Guiseley tree list. Guiseley, Green, Moyo, Perver, Heaton, Halls, Flowers, Hatfield, James, Odejavi, a tree list Morrison. Subs: Lazenby, Worsnop, Smith, Thornton, Clayton, Thompson, Gummersall, Hussain, Paley, 3 trialists, and, further east, Lincolnshire Live tells us that Craig Elliott issued a blunt warning to the underperforming members of his squad following Boston United's 4-1 defeat to Lincoln City. The Pilgrims' boss is unhappy with the form of some of his new signings and is ready to make changes. Elliott admitted some players could even be moved out of the club before the season opener against Guiseley on August 4. "I'm not happy with certain players if I'm being totally honest," said Elliott. "I've expected more from certain players. You've got to go with your gut. There's no point waiting for September or October to make those decisions, you've got to make them now. That's why you have friendlies like this, to see where you can improve." The Pilgrims took an early lead through Jonathan Wifula. Bruno Andrade soon equalized for the Imps, but United completed well with their League Two opponents for the first hour before the Imps ran away with the game with goals from Shea McCartan, Harry Anderson and Andrade. "In the first half there were a lot of positives," added Elliott. "But in the second half it was difficult to take any positives. I always expected Lincoln to come on strong. They have a lot of power and ultimately won the game, but it was the manner of it that disappointed me. There's 3 or 4 players who needed to find somewhere else to play because they're not for me at the minute. When your gut is telling you that certain players are not up to standard, then it's better they play elsewhere. I don't want to mess any players about, it's got to be done. It's been in training and in the last couple of friendlies. My gut is telling me certain things and, as a manager, you've got to act on that. I'd be foolish to bury my head in the sand. You could use excuses, and say it's only pre-season and that it'll come together, but it doesn't happen like that. Football isn't about luck, it's about hard work, combinations and chemistry. At the moment there are certain bits that I'm not happy with. Tranmere Rovers report that it was victory at Victory Park, Chorley, for Rovers as Connor Jennings' goal in the second half was enough for a 1-0 win. It was a slow start to the game by both sides. Chorley had their first bit of action in the Rovers half. Lewis Almond forced a good stop by new loan signing Shamal George before McNulty cleared the danger. On the 14th minute, a kick Chorley counter-attack resulted in the striker squeezing a shot underneath George from the edge of the box. However, Ellis was round well to cover his teammate on the line. Rovers' main source of joy was coming down the left. Tranmere made an array of substitutions at half-time. The deadlock was finally broken in the 69th minute. Smith drove into the opposition half and cleverly picked out Jennings inside the box in acres of space. He calmly slotted past the keeper to put Rovers ahead. Chorley were still posing a threat up front as they pumped crosses into the Tranmere box. The 25th of July 2018 Trafford 1-2 Altrincham in their penultimate pre-season friendly on Tuesday night. Altrincham narrowly overcame their near neighbours Trafford thanks to goals by Jordan Hulme and Sean Williams. In a well-contested game, Altrincham took the lead shortly before the interval when Jordan Hulme converted a knockback from the back post by trialist Faye Downing, from Connor Hampson's fine cross from the left. But the hosts drew level after 65 minutes when Palmer drove home an excellent shot from the edge of the box. With both sides making numerous second-half changes, Altrincham settled the match 12 minutes from time when Sean Williams' deflected shot found the back of the net. Altrincham included 3 trialists in their squad. In addition to Downing and Bannister, who had played for Alty previously in pre-season, goalkeeper Elliot Wright shared second-half goalkeeping duties with Andrew Jones. Wynne had previously impressed against Altrincham when keeping goal for Abbey Hay in the Emirates FA Cup first qualifying round in 2017. Altrincham: Thompson, Bannister, Hampson, Hannigan, Golding, Moult, Johnston, Harrop, Hulme, Hancock, Downing. Subs: White, J. Jones, Williams, A. Jones, E. Wynne. Altrincham complete their pre-season with a home match against Salford City on Saturday, 3 p.m. Miller and ROKKA move on. The Altrincham FC official website announces that both Sean Miller and Elliot Rocca have been released from their pre-season trials. Sean joined Alty in early June 2016 from Connah's Quay Nomads, as one of manager Neil Young's signings. A speedy winger, he had earlier been in Chester's youth system, when Neil Young was manager there. At Connah's Quay he was Players' Player of the Year and Supporters' Player of the Year as well as being top scorer. He was also named Welsh Premier League Young Player of the Year in 2015. He missed most of 2016-17 pre-season through injury, making his first appearance in a friendly against Whitton Albion on the 1st of August 2016 and made his Altrincham competitive debut as a substitute on the 9th of August 2016 at FC Halifax Town. Despite suffering a couple of injuries, Sean made a very positive impression at Altrincham, with 10 goals in 19 appearances up to the point where he signed an extended contract on the 14th of January 2017. But he then missed several months of the rest of the season through injury. Nevertheless, he finished as leading scorer for the club, despite not figuring in any of the final 22 matches of the league season. In 2016-17 he made just 3 starts and 10 appearances from the bench as he recovered fitness, and he spent part of the season on loan at Colne and then at Trafford. In all, Sean made 15 appearances for Altrincham, scoring 11 goals. Elliot Rocca, aged 22, played in the first 5 pre-season games of 2018, scoring once, at Kids Grove. Elliot, pictured above, right, is a Warrington-born winger, who started out at Manchester United. He joined Tranmere Rovers last summer after 3 years at Radcliffe Borough, where he had won the Evo Stick League Young Player of the Season award. After a season playing for Rio Maior in Portugal, he joined Macclesfield Town. Vanarama National League North News NL Today reports that striker Adam Boyes has joined Spennymoor Town ahead of the 2018-19 season. Avenue beat a number of clubs to the signature of the 27-year-old last summer, as he joined on a 2-year deal following his release by GUISELEY AFC. The forward had netted 101 goals in 335 matches at National League and National League North level prior to his move to the Horsfall Stadium, but is also well known for his hold-up play and all-round work rate. Upon joining Avenue, Boyes linked up again once more with manager Mark Bauer, who managed him as GUISELEY achieved promotion to the National League, the striker netting 24 goals in the promotion-winning campaign. Starting his career at York City, the frontman earned a 6-figure move to then Championship side Scunthorpe United as a teenager. Spells with Kidderminster Harriers, Barrow AFC and Gateshead followed before Bauer took Boyes to GUISELEY in January 2013. He was also a member of the York squad that played in the FA Trophy final that year. Boyes told https://spennymoortownfc.co.uk, "The negotiations have been going on for a long time, so I can't wait to get started. As soon as I spoke to Jason I knew Spennymoor was the club for me, as I know a few of the lads already here and it's an ambitious club that wants to go up through the leagues. The past few years I've been on my own up front, so hopefully me and Glenn Taylor, who has scored a lot of goals over the years, can form a good partnership together. I will always work hard and play with passion for the shirt, and hopefully I can keep up my record of scoring goals." From NL Daily we learned that Ashton United have announced the signing of midfielder Bohan Dixon. The 6'4" midfielder signs for the Robins, having previously played for Stockport County during the 2017-18 campaign. Dixon started his career at Kingsley United and spent spells at other clubs before eventually being spotted by Accrington Stanley. He made 10 league appearances for the Lancashire-based side before moving back down to non-league, this time with a permanent move to Lincoln City in 2013. Since then he has played for numerous clubs including Stalybridge Celtic, Northwich Victoria, Salford City and AFC Files. He won league titles with the latter 2 clubs in the list and was a virtual ever-present in AFC Files' run to the National League North title in 2016-17. Regarding this signing, Jody Banham had the following to say: "I'm delighted to sign Bohan. He has a wealth of experience in this league and once he improves his sharpness and fitness, he'll be a real asset to the club. It's also a real coup for us as a football club to attract players of the caliber of Bohan. It shows how far we've come in a short space of time." Televised games. The Vanarama National League has announced that a further 3 games have been selected for live broadcast on BT Sport 1 and BT Sport 4K UHD. AFC Files v Harrogate Town, Monday, August 27, 5:15 p.m. Cohevant. As previously reported, Trafford convincingly beat our National League North rivals Ashton United 3-0 on Saturday, so it should be a competitive game. The match will also afford Alty supporters the opportunity to see several ex-Moss Laners who are on former Alty reserve in Trafford manager Tom Baker's books at Trafford. They include Alty youth team graduates Harry Sheridan and Darius Palma, former first-team players Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Burns and James Coates, as well as Tom Schofield, a former trialist in Moss Lane. Crewe match. The Altrincham FC official site has a match report on the game against Crewe last Friday. Old Boy Boris joins Brecon. The Hallmark Security League reports that the former Sandbach United striker Boris Mellingu, pictured right in his Altrincham days, is the latest player to step up from our league into the senior ranks, after signing a semi-professional contract with Brecon City in the Scottish Football League One. After impressing in pre-season trials for Brecon, the French national, who played for Sandbach in both the 2016-17 and 2017-18 campaigns as well as appearing for League Town, was offered a contract. He made a good start to his career at Glebe Park, scoring in the 17th minute of his new side's Betfred Cup tie at Stirling Albion, helping Brecon to a 2-1 win in their first competitive victory for a year in their first game of the season. Sandbach United's Mike Sr. said, "I remember when the manager Andy Hockenhull brought Boris into the team a few years ago, and he was a bit of an unknown quantity, having originally come to the UK for trials with Stoke City. But it was through a different connection that he ended up at Sandbach United, and at the time we were starting to get a bit of a notice as a club that can connect and move players higher on the football pyramid." Boris has a fantastic work ethic and is a quiet and unassuming player who gives 110% every game. He became an instant hit with the staff and players at the club and the fans, who made up a song especially for him. We first heard it on an away trip to Holker Old Boys for a league visit, due to his dogged determination to win and fair play. Not the tallest striker in the league, he had great presence and could be a real handful, as can be seen in his playing record of 22 games, 14 goals and 7 MOM awards, and could change a game in the blink of an eye. Of course, after the first season it was already clear that he had the ability to step up, and arrangements were made to get him in at League Town for higher level football, where he dual registered for 2017-18, and the rest became history as he moved upwards. Footnote: Boris was a member of the Altrincham FC youth team in 2014-15 and later played for the reserves. He made a substitute appearance in the Cheshire Senior Cup match against Crewe Alexandra in February 2016. Crewe's Views. Crewe Alexandra report that manager David Artell was delighted to see his Crewe Alexandra enter a new gear against Altrincham in our latest pre-season game. Artell told the club's official website, "We scored 3 really good goals inside 20 minutes and were certainly more ruthless than we have been. We looked a threat every time we attacked in the first half, and we could have scored more. It was really pleasing to see because we played some good stuff, but there is no one getting carried away. We took our foot off the gas in the second half, and we have spoken about that to them, but I thought we were far more dynamic at Altrincham." Crewe also report that David Artell says that some of the first team were given time to recover from some knocks and strains, and that is why they didn't feature at Altrincham. The likes of Sean Miller, James Jones, George Ray and Lewis Riley were all not involved after a given time to recuperate. David explained, "Not everyone was involved again.